Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for a very special and exciting Avalon Waterways webinar. My name is Anna. I'm an Industry Relations Manager here at CLIA, and I'm going to just quickly go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenter. This webinar will run about 25 minutes with time for questions at the end. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of the webinar, and we'll get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted on CLIA's YouTube channel, which is CLIA Global. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our presenter, Corey McGillivray. Corey is the Channel Marketing Manager for the Globus family of brands and started his career in travel at ASTA, where he was in charge of supplier memberships. He moved to Vacation.com as an inside sales manager, where he led internal efforts for membership sales and renewals. Moving to Colorado in 2013, Corey started with Globus as a training specialist and has spent the last 7 years servicing all marketing and training needs for industry partners and is incredibly excited to be joining us today. And with that, take it away, Corey.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anna, and welcome to all of our travel advisor partners on the line. And as Anna mentioned, my name is Corey McGillivray, and I'm the manager of channel marketing with the Globus family of brands. And really, one of my responsibilities is to work with our advisor partners, to bring the training, the education, of course, the marketing materials you need to help sell the Globus family. But the reason that's such a favorite part of my job is because of the connection I get to have with our advisor partners. And I really wanted to start today's presentation just with a note of appreciation for each and every one of you that's on the line today. These last, it's hard to believe, almost 12 months have certainly shaken our industry, has certainly tested kind of the armor that I know so many of you advisors have. So from everyone at the Globus family of brands, from Avalon Waterways, thank you for everything you've done for the last 12 months. Hopefully 2021 is going to bring us some positive news. I know I'm excited to start talking about opening back up again and starting to fulfill travel dreams once again. So today's presentation is going to be a little bit different from what I've presented on the last few months, and it's going to be about getting inspired, about being excited to talk about travel again. We're going to focus on the Rhine. We're going to talk a little bit about Avalon Waterways, but I'm going to try my best to avoid all the updates on protocols and cleaning enhancements. I have all that good content. We'll touch on it briefly, but I hope when you leave today's presentation, you're inspired. You're inspired to let yourself dream again, to be okay with opening your mind just to the possibility of travel again. We're not quite there. Borders aren't quite open. We're not quite traveling just yet, but it's okay to be inspired, and it's okay to make your clients feel that way as well. So there's no doubt today's world has changed, but what has remained certain is our commitment to our guests' safety, their comfort, and their peace of mind. So, of course, to that end, with everything that's happened, we've established a set of enhanced onboard protocols and procedures through our Avalon Assurance program, which is really meant to ensure the health, the happiness of our guests throughout their entire cruise. For complete details, as well as some marketing collateral you can share with your clients, we have a whole host of content available on our travel advisor portal. But as I mentioned, our goal today isn't to chat through protocols. We've had tons of that over the last 10 months. And again, for anyone interested, we have all the content you could look for and more on our Avalon Health and Safety page. But I want to talk about inspiration, about getting ready to travel. We're getting closer. It's okay to dream. Remember that it's okay to plan for tomorrow. So that's what we're going to do and help hopefully inspire you and your clients. But I want to start a little bit for those of you that may be new to river cruising or maybe new to Avalon about why we're a little bit different. And it's because Avalon truly invented river cruise ships. No other fleet of river cruise ships offers your clients a view of the world like our suite ships, which feature our Avalon Panorama Suites. They're 30% larger than our industry standard, and they create river cruising's only open-air balcony. It puts nothing between your clients and the view. So we at Avalon have really mastered that art of blending luxury and comfort, and we even blurred the line between outside and in. While other river cruise cabins, they're designed with beds against the wall for a view of another wall, our beds actually face the view with the widest opening, wall-to-wall, floor-to-ceiling, panoramic windows and river cruising. You can almost think of it as a view with a room instead of a room with a view. And I can't go on without giving a little bit of a birthday shout out to our Panorama Suites, who in 2020 actually turned 10 years old. So it's hard to believe it's been over a decade since we introduced the Avalon Panorama Suite to the rivers of Europe with our Avalon Panorama ship. But it's great to be able to mark this sort of milestone because it tells us, not only have we capitalized on the correct design, not have we only found the best way to position our beds to give your clients everything they need within their stateroom, it tells us we've hit the mark and done it pretty well for 10 years. So I hope you're as happy as I am to say we will continue bringing your clients these amazing views with our Panorama Suites for hopefully decades to come. I do want to take another minute just to highlight that Cruise Critic, which for those of you familiar with river cruising, can really be the ultimate authority in river cruising. It's that for ocean as well. And we've actually been designated as best cabins in river cruise for 4 years running. And I'm very happy to announce that at the end of December, for the first time ever, we actually won the Travel Age West Wave Award for best suites in all of river cruising. So you take 10 years of innovation, design, multiple years of award-winning cabins from really some amazing authoritative positions in river cruising, and it tells us that, hey, we hit the mark on these cabins, and we're offering an experience that we know your clients love. But it goes beyond sort of our hard product offering, and the warmth and comfort isn't just reserved for your client's stateroom on an Avalon River cruise. That welcoming spirit, that happiness that flows throughout everything, it's really carried on throughout the entire ship and onto shore. From the captain to the cruise director to the stateroom attendant, the wait staff, it's about delivering exquisite service that's professional, it's courteous, and informative. But our approach is never stuffy, and it really helps create an atmosphere of relaxed luxury, like our casual and comfortable dress code. That's really just a primary example of comfort being a top priority both on and off the ship. So whether your clients are on board or on shore, we promise that we're going to take special care to ensure that they are perfectly taken care of every step of the way. Now, here I want to take a bit of a pause to set the stage. We agree, ocean cruising is simply an amazing way to travel. I myself have been fortunate enough to have traveled on over 20. But there are some differences between the product that I'd like to quickly cover, especially for some of you that may be a bit newer to river cruising. First and foremost, river cruise vessels, they're built with a different goal in mind. They're meant to slowly meander and weave through the world's kind of amazing rivers and storybook settings, to sail under centuries-old bridges, to sail through beautiful locks. And our floating boutique hotels, they hold an average of 150 guests, although some are even smaller. Our suite ships in the Mekong, for example, are just 36 passengers at their maximum occupancy. And while fellow passenger numbers are low, Avalon's onboard crew ratio is high. In fact, on every ship, the average guest-to-crew ratio is 3-to-1, which means travelers have crew members easily and happily catering to their needs every moment of every day. But there's some key differences. We talked a little bit about our Panorama Suites. Everyone on an Avalon Waterways ship, 81% of the cabins will be those Panorama Suites. For the other staterooms, there are deluxe staterooms, 172 square feet with beautiful portal windows that, again, allow your clients to have all the comforts and amenities that make river cruising so amazing. And river cruising is really destination focused. It's about local guides who help travelers experience and connect with the world around them. So most river cruises, they sail off the beaten path. They visit those small fairytale villages and those family-owned wineries and help create kind of some magic and some whimsy. And the amazing part is that your clients have choice in these cities, whether they want a classic excursion to see the must-see sites, something adventurous like a cooking class or something adventurous like a canoeing experience on the Danube, or even something like a hike up a vineyard, or maybe something a bit more active or adventurous where they have painting classes and cooking classes, and allow your clients to really customize their cruise their way. And with that in mind, I kind of want to turn our focus to a place where what I'm describing is even more obvious, and it's the beautiful Rhine River. Because as we look to emerge from this hibernation, there's no better place to send your client, from the first-time river cruiser to an avid veteran, than the Rhine. So are you dreaming of an escape? If I could see your faces, I hope I'd see lots of hands being raised, lots of smiling faces. I know I am. I think the last international flight I took is now officially a year removed. So I know I'm ready. And you're not alone, and your clients aren't either. And a Rhine River offers your clients the perfect cure for this cabin fever that we're all experiencing, and a feast for those travel cravings. So from storied scenery to terraced vineyards to hillsides dotted with castles, the Rhine really showcases so much of what river cruising is famous for. So I want to talk for a few minutes here about some highlights of the Rhine River. Why should you look to the Rhine? Those of you that may know Avalon, we did something similar like this with the Danube last year. So why should your clients want to travel on the Rhine? Well, one really interesting and honestly pretty cool fact about the Rhine is it's a multinational waterway. Your clients will be able to traverse 5 different countries, so Switzerland, the Netherlands, Germany, France, Austria, and all along the way they're going to explore picture-perfect towns of these really bucket list destinations like Basel, Strasbourg, Cologne, Bonn, Dusseldorf, Amsterdam, Rotterdam. And for those clients that maybe they love the aspect of touring that is a panorama that gets into multiple countries in one fell swoop, that's an amazing opportunity your clients can experience on the Rhine. See some great bucket list destinations and see some amazing countries along the way. The Rhine River is kind of a ribbon. It ties together fascinating countries, as I mentioned, cultures and history. It also flows into other truly legendary waterways, which, why is that important? Well, it kind of presents the opportunity to combine a Rhine itinerary with 3 other amazing rivers. And when we start talking about who the Rhine's a great fit for, this is an important thing to consider. If you have a river cruise veteran on your hand and they're looking for something truly immersive, the Rhine's a great jump-off point, but it can also get them to the Mosel, the Main, and the Danube rivers as well. And you want to talk about castles, you want to talk about the Rhine, in particular the Rhine Gorge. Between Rudolstein and Koblenz, there are more castles take center stage than anywhere else on the planet. The Upper Middle Rhine, or the Rhine Gorge, has your UNESCO World Heritage Site status and the well-earned moniker, the Romantic Rhine. And we're going to talk a little bit about castles in particular, because I think this is such a truly fascinating and interesting part of this river in particular, and you'll find a primary reason that folks even travel along this river. Or if you have clients who are looking for a pop of color, the Rhine obviously touches within the Netherlands and Amsterdam, which are known for their tulips. So surrounded by brilliant color tulips, the waterways of the Netherlands, of course, feed into the Rhine, and they present kind of an unrivaled springtime scenery. Those of you familiar with river cruising have heard of tulip time river cruises, and this is exactly what it is. It's that big pop burst of color in what can either be kind of a historic medieval part of Europe. And you want to talk about wine, beer, places to really go to some of Germany's finest winemaking regions. A lot of people think of Germany for its beer scene, but the vineyard-lined Rhine River Valley paints sort of a sweeter story with great days that invite your clients to sniff, to swirl, to sip their way through everything, from Rieslings to Sauvignons to Spätburgunders, which I'm sure some of my German friends out there will be happy to correct my pronunciation there. But I think what I really want you to derive from this is whether you're looking for history, whether your clients are looking for a food scene, for wine-themed cruises, or for something that highlights a dizzying number of UNESCO World Heritage Sites, the Rhine offers a little bit of something for everyone. And of course, I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the Rhine and the Christmas markets that afford your clients on this river. There really is no better way to unwrap the magic of the old world than a journey through tradition-rich German Christmas markets. I think the demand for these, especially given this last Christmas season, with most of the markets being closed and obviously those not being able to travel, are going to be a primary reason that folks want to get to this part of the world, especially during the Christmas season. And again, I kind of walk you through this to just show you kind of all these different, exciting, different things that the Rhine can offer your clients and the breadth of the type of client that the Rhine can appeal to. And with everything the Rhine has to offer, there's no wonder that so many river cruise lines choose to sail along the Rhine. And just as the Rhine is the only waterway to feature dozens of castles in many miles, Avalon Waterways is the only river cruise operator that invites you to really customize that Rhine River experience with dozens and dozens of choices. Avalon Waterways offers greater flexibility. We have Rhine itineraries that range from 5 days all the way up to 16 days, really offering travelers a wide selection of vacations. It's greater affordability. Only Avalon Waterways provides Rhine River cruises vacations priced from $14.99. We offer more customization than our competition, thanks to Avalon Choice, which, as I mentioned, offers a varied selection of classic, active, and discovery sightseeing options. And more immersion. Avalon Waterways is the only river cruise company that offers an active and discovery river cruise along the Rhine. And those of you that may not know what active and discovery river cruises are, think of our standard Avalon Waterways itineraries that focus a lot on classic city sightseeing experiences with a smattering of active and adventure options. Active and discovery give your clients another reason to travel along the Rhine, to get up and go, to experience more engaging, discoverable options and more active options along the way. And we offer more peace of mind. I'm going to talk about this towards the back end of my presentation, but all of Avalon Waterways travel bookings automatically come with peace of mind travel plans, which is free of charge. This plan gives your clients the flexibility to move their booking to another destination, another vacation, another brand, if they prefer, all before a final payment. So I understand there are many, many different operators to choose along the Rhine, and to be perfectly honest, if you're going to send a client on a Rhine River cruise, they're going to have an amazing time. But when you start to think about the different opportunities that Avalon Waterways offers, more affordable options, more itineraries to choose from, the inclusions of an Avalon Adventure host, different ways to explore, our award-winning Avalon Panorama Suites, hopefully you start to see why Avalon Waterways is a lead choice when you're looking to sail along the Rhine. So we've talked a little bit about what makes the Rhine so great. We've talked a little bit about different, things that Avalon can offer you that maybe some of our competition can't. But now I want to talk a little bit about who's right for the Rhine. Who in your client database can you look for to sail along the Rhine? And with its breadth, its harbors, its cities, its villages, the short answer, maybe a little bit of a cop-out, is everyone. But bear with me, we're going to talk about a little bit about, who's right and why they're right, and maybe even an option for you to consider if you have this client in your database. So what about the types of Rhine travelers that you can expect to position for one of many reasons why a Rhine River cruise is right for them? And we're going to start with what we're going to call international newbies. So maybe it's their first time river cruising. Maybe it's even their first time abroad, first time to Europe. The Rhine is a favorite river cruise experience because it really winds, it bends through several must-see countries. It also takes travelers to the storybook settings of fabled fairy tale lands. Really, when people think of quintessential Europe, those storybook settings, they think of many of the stops along the Rhine. It could even be a week-long or even shorter itineraries because, again, maybe it's a fling for them. Maybe it's their first time experiencing it. They don't want to commit to more than a week. Maybe it's just their first time to Europe. And a perfect pick is the Taste of the Rhine. It's bookended by two truly bucket list cities with Amsterdam and Frankfurt, so very appealing to a first-timer. And this is a short and sweet itinerary. So it's only 4 nights and allows the guest or the traveler to test those river cruise waters while still enjoying the amazing dramatic views of the Rhine Gorge and getting some of those marquee highlight sites that will bring them back for more. If you have someone who maybe wants something a bit longer, another great option is the Romantic Rhine, similar to a Taste of the Rhine, but with a few more nights built in. What about for those seasoned sightseers? They kind of want to have an affair with the Rhine. It's a bit more for them. It's not something that's one and done. They're interested in coming back. One river, 5 countries, you can understand why you can't get it all done in one fell swoop. So it also connects as I mentioned earlier, to other legendary waterways. So if you have a client that has done the Rhine, they haven't seen it all, and they want to pair it with the Moselle, a great option for them is the Rhine and Moselle with canals, vineyards, and castles. It combines the romance of Riesling of the Rhine, but also highlights the untouched storybook settings of the Moselle. So it gives that balance of time, tradition, and sails through three amazing different countries. So you kind of see the Rhine, it lets you build on something if someone's been there before. Here's another option to see parts of it you haven't, maybe explore a new river. Or maybe you have a client who's been there, done that, they feel like they've seen the river, but they need to see it in a different way because they're never going to repeat the same vacation with Avalon Waterways. And a perfect opportunity for this, and something I mentioned earlier, is active and discovery on the Rhine. So your clients can explore the Rhine with a varied selection of classic, active, and discovery excursions, whether it's history or food or maybe it's nature or it's art. The breadth of excursions includes everything from regional wine tasting to hiking to bike tours to Dutch painting classes. It's anchored in picturesque ports, so your clients are still going to see some of those major marquee cities, but it takes travelers off the beaten path for some of these truly immersive experiences. And if that isn't enough for your clients, maybe they can look to something like the Magnificent Rivers of Europe. It's a 16-day itinerary that highlights so many amazing key cities, touches on multiple different rivers, and is truly that, a magnificent tour of Europe along the rivers that Europe is famous for. I mentioned a little bit about castles. I mean, you want to talk about the Rhine, and it is all about castles. So I'm not going to dig too much into it. We talked a little bit about it, but what can be underestimated about the Rhine is the sailing time. So I wanted to come back here and at least touch on the Rhine Gorge once more, because one of the amazing things about river cruising is you're surrounded by constant scenery, towering castles. It's something that really brings the country to life more than just sailing without much to look at, or going back to your station to calm down and take a deep breath or to relax a little bit. And even if you decide to do that, you open up your Panorama Suite, open air balcony, and you can enjoy everything, all those beautiful stops along the way of the Rhine River. Before wrapping up today, I just want to highlight a couple different things. You know, we talk so much about the beautiful scenery of the Rhine, things your clients can expect along the Rhine, but there's some really amazing things to see and do as well, whether it's the alluring Lord Live, which is really kind of shrouded in mystery. It's a myth of a maiden sat atop and serenaded sailors through centuries, or your clients want to see the towering cathedrals of Cologne, you know, the romantic streets of Rudesheim. There's so much to see, whether it's the windmills in Kinderjik, which features 19 different operational windmills. There's so much to see that we've talked about, but there's also so much to do. You know, I know it conjures up fantasies of the old world when you think of what the Rhine looks like, but there's so much to do as well. Whether it's a painting class, as I mentioned, in Amsterdam, whether it's traveling along the famed Alsace wine route and looking for beautiful local tasting wines, or maybe it's a tour of Dusseldorf's world famous Alt beers, where your clients will learn about top fermented brews, what gives them their dark color. I mean, there really is something for everyone to do and experience along the Rhine River. And of course, we have an amazing promotion to help get your clients to the Rhine. And we understand, look, if 2021 isn't the year for them to travel, we have 2022 open and available as well. So if your clients are looking to lock in that vacation with the peace of mind, knowing that they have the flexibility with Avalon Waterways, we have a $299 air with a $2,000 per couple savings as well. So any details on that, I do ask you to go to the Travel Advisor portal, or I'd be happy to share some additional information with you as well. You know, I mentioned this briefly in passing. For those of you that have been on some of my webinars over the last 10 months or so, I think it's incredibly important to remember that when you work with the Globus family of brands, we not only have your best interests in mind, your client's best interests in mind, but we want to make sure we're doing what's right. And thanks to our Peace of Mind travel plan, we think we've offered the flexibility that allows your clients to book now and worry later. You know, start planning those vacations again. Tell them it's okay to start dreaming. Lock in that vacation. Lock in the cabin you're looking for, the destination, the itinerary, the departure date, and stress about the concerns you have with travel later. If you get 65 days away from your travel date and your clients want to change to a new itinerary, they want to push out to a later date, they want to push 6 months, they want to look at a new brand, they have the opportunity to do that when they work with the Globus family of brands. And of course, we're always going to put some more wind in your sails, and sales, I mean your actual booking sales. We have a whole host of custom marketing materials on the source that can really help boost some of this messaging I've been sharing with you, whether it's social posts, whether it's pages on the tap, or whether it's flyers for you to get the message out to your clients. We try to take that work off of your hands and provide you with some really cool, really informative, helpful marketing materials that you can customize with your client's call to action. So I know that was a lot of content and looks like 25 minutes or so. I had to be perfectly honest as I'm getting through it. I'm like, I hope it wasn't too much. But with the contact information you see at the bottom of the page here, I actually monitor that email box at webtraining@globusfamily.com. So any questions you may have, if you're looking for some additional information, please feel free to reach out to me directly. But Anne, I'd love to answer any questions that may have come in so far.
Sure, thank you. We do have some questions coming in. Our first one is from Naki, who is wondering if all Avalon ships are all suite or still have deluxe categories D and E.
So all of our ships within our suite fleet now are the Avalon Panorama Suite ships. 81% of the cabins on our ship are Panorama Suites. And then we do still offer our category D and E, the deluxe staterooms, which are 172 square feet. When you look at the amenities of the rooms, they're quite similar. Obviously, the main differentiator being the open air balcony on the Panorama Suite.
Okay, got it. And our next question is from Teresa, who is wondering, with the $299 air, what is the major airports that is in and out of?
So good question. And this, obviously, some of these airports can change based on the particular itinerary, whether the air may be offered out of this gateway. But it is kind of, and I say standard, as if all of us operate from the same. But it's Atlanta, Boston, the Chicago airports, Cleveland, Charlotte, Denver. I mean, really some primary destinations all the way from East Coast to West Coast, Orlando, Minneapolis, all New York, Philly, Phoenix, Pittsburgh. Other gateway cities are available from anywhere between $200 to about $500 per person additional. But again, that really does vary based on the gateway. But quick count, it looks like well over 25 different gateways that $299 qualifies out of.
Okay, got it. And our next question from Bernadette is, can you briefly touch upon the Passion Play options on the Rhine for 2022?
Yeah, off the top of my head, and I do apologize for not having the names off the top of my head, but we are offering, obviously, some Avalon Waterways itineraries that do include Oberammergau. I do encourage you to start looking at availability as soon as possible. Obviously, with some of the shifts we've seen to 2022, and obviously the reschedule of the of the Passion Play, we have seen interest in that tick up. There is availability, and I want to say we have at least 2 itineraries. But again, if that advisor, and I'm sorry I missed their name, wants to reach out directly at webtraining@globusfamily.com, I'd be happy to provide some more additional information.
Got it. And it looks like this is our last question from Teresa, who is wondering, if you happen to know off the top of your head, is there a graphic on the agent portal promoting the air deal?
Yes, there is. So there is, there's marketing collateral on the source that promotes it, and then there's also additional promotional information on the promotions tab.
Okay, awesome. And those are all of our questions. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, and thank you, Corey, for all of the wonderful information.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day.
Bye, everyone.